grew up a rule follower. And to that end, I often needed permission or felt like I needed permission to do things. So today, I am writing you a permission slip to let go of the pieces of clothing that you no longer wear. Hello, I'm Kristen from Kristen Cain Style. Welcome. I'm thrilled that you are here. I am a style and mindset coach, and if you don't know me and you don't know exactly what I do, I will give you a brief description. I can help you create a wardrobe you absolutely love wearing. It does not have to be complicated or expensive. The idea is we want you to have a wardrobe that is fabulous and functional and allows you to get dressed and feel lit up by your clothing and get on with your life. And I do that with all the traditional tools that a stylist would use that you are probably familiar with, and with this sort of magic, secret, special technique, which is looking at your thoughts and your feelings. If we don't pay attention to what you're thinking and feeling when it's time to shop, when it's time to edit, when it's time to get dressed, when it's time to pack, when it's time to figure out an outfit for a special occasion, if we don't look at the thoughts and the feelings that are creating the result that you actually already have in your wardrobe, we can't create a different result. And so I have learned over 20 years in closets and fitting rooms that what we think about when it comes to our style creates the result that we have. So if we have a wardrobe that we don't love wearing, we can trace it right back to what we're thinking. And once we pay attention to the thoughts, once we know what those thoughts are that aren't serving us about our style, we can change them. And ultimately, quickly, the thoughts that get changed create a result that is different. So it is my job and my greatest honor to help women create wardrobes they love wearing by paying attention to their thoughts and helping them create the results that they really want in their style, but magically also in their life, because how we do one thing is how we do everything. And so when we change our style by paying attention to our thoughts and our beliefs and our feelings, we then automatically begin to change other areas of our life because we have this new tool. So if you'd like more information on how I do this work, I do it one-on-one, and it is called Style Therapy, and it is my signature program, and it is amazing. And there's a link down below, and we can hop on a consult call if you're not quite sure, and we can figure out if Style Therapy is a good fit for you right now. I would love the honor of working with you. Okay, today I want to talk really quickly about sort of this myth that it is a good idea to hang on to clothing that you're not wearing, that it is, sort of this big style myth that you should hold on to it for later, that you might need it one day, that it might come back in style, that you spend a lot of money on it, that, all the things that come up when you consider, I just can't get rid of that. And they're not true. They are thoughts. They are limiting beliefs that are keeping your closet jammed up with stuff that you're not wearing. And so today I want to just kind of poke at those things a little bit so that you can begin to see that they don't really hold water. They're not really sound reasons to keep pieces in your wardrobe that you actually aren't loving wearing, because the idea is that every piece in your closet lights you up. And I know some of you, I've heard from actual clients who I work with one-on-one, and also from people who've commented here or over on Instagram or in my email. I know that some of you think that that is just a tall order and kind of an impossibility to have a wardrobe only filled with pieces that light you up. But I want you to consider that if we only wear 20% of our clothing 80% of the time, which is the statistic and has been for like a decade running, that women wear 20% of what's hanging in their wardrobe 80% of the time. And so if that's, the statistic that we're working with, that means 80% of our clothing is just hanging in the closet, largely unworn. And some of that is special occasion wear, some of it is special activity wear. So I understand that that's not the entire wardrobe, but even within the entire wardrobe, I find with my clients that is largely the statistic. And sometimes it's even worse. Sometimes it's 90% of their wardrobe they're not wearing, they're wearing 10%. And so I want you to just consider that if that 10 or 20%, if we got rid of the rest of it, and we made sure that that 10 or 20% actually lit you up, you would still be getting dressed every day because you're already getting dressed every day wearing that 10 or 20%. So if we got rid of the rest that doesn't light you up and we only kept the 20% that does light you up, you would have a wardrobe filled with only pieces that you love and that light you up, and you would still be managing to get dressed every day. And then if we extended that even so that you now have, a few more pieces that would have been 30 or 40% of that original 100%. You maybe have fewer clothing, but that isn't a bad thing because now you have the scale tipped in your favor. The odds are in your favor because you've created a wardrobe that is what you love wearing, even if it's not as many pieces as you had before. So we have this myth in mind, this idea that we have to have more pieces in order to be more stylish, even if we're not wearing 80% of those pieces. And it's just nuts. That it makes no sense that it does make sense. I shouldn't say that. I understand it because we are driven often by sort of a scarcity mindset and a lack mentality that says we need to collect more and we need to make sure we have enough. And if we don't have plenty and we don't have extra, then we're going to be in trouble at some point in the future. And that isn't necessarily true. If you've got fewer, better pieces, and by better, I just mean that you really, truly love, that's far greater in the sense of getting dressed and looking and feeling amazing every day. It works far more to your advantage than having this packed full closet where you're really not utilizing most of it. So the idea of everything in your wardrobe should light you up does not have to be daunting and overwhelming and seem like a pipe dream if you just concentrate on replacing or culling 20% of your wardrobe that you actually do love that lights you up and just wear that, you're ahead of the game. You don't need that extra 80%. You're largely not wearing that anyway. Okay, I want to chat about the reasons you might be holding on to pieces that you're not wearing, that you're never going to wear, and why letting go of those pieces will get you closer to that wardrobe that contains only pieces that light you up. So the number one reason is that you're sentimental and you're hanging on to pieces for sentimental reasons. And I understand this. I am actually a pretty sentimental person. I hang on to pieces, not only clothing, but things, items that bring with them a memory, that hold a memory, that, feel like I might get a little bit of that if I were to touch it or look at it. I am a sentimental person. I save ticket stubs and, I save things. Or I did for most of my life. In the last probably 5 to 7 years, I have come to realize that the memories are not in the stuff and that my mental health actually is better served by me having fewer things and by me saving fewer things. That doesn't mean I get rid of things that actually matter to me and that are special, like kid photos and, special trinkets and things from my past. And I recognize that my memories do not exist in the items and they do not exist in the clothing. And I can release things because I don't have this idea that I'm never going to find another one or that I'm going to be worse off without it. And so the sentimentality specifically of clothing has eased for me. So if you're someone who holds on to pieces because, your husband gave it to you, but it hasn't fit in however many years, really decide, first of all, it shouldn't be hanging in your closet. If it's not a piece that your today body can wear now happily and comfortably, then it shouldn't be hanging in your closet. So if he gave you a beautiful something and you want to keep it for the sake of the memory, then box it up or take a photo of it and have the photo framed or hang it on a beautiful hanger and put it on display. But don't have it in your closet where it's tripping you up and it's not contributing to that wardrobe that lights you up. Everything in it lights you up, because that piece, though the memory might light you up, every time you look at it and you can't wear it, it's not doing you any favors. The next reason you might be holding on to something is because you think you're going to wear it again in the future. And I hear this again with a lot of my clients. They feel like a trend is going to come back because certainly we've seen trends repeating many, many times, whether it's the rise of the jeans or the width of the cuff, the bell bottoms or the skinny jeans. We're sure, because we have evidence from the way that fashion repeats itself, we're sure that those things are going to repeat. And why would we get rid of it when we can wear it again in the future? And I want to say a couple of things on this. First of all, there's nothing wrong with saving it, but if you are not wearing it right now, there is no reason it should be in your closet, because it is not contributing to that, percentage of having closer to most of your wardrobe be something that lights you up, that you love wearing. So if there are pieces that you're sure are going to come back and you're going to want to wear them when they come back, box them up and put them somewhere else. Put them in storage for a time until they come back and it's time to see if you want to wear them again. Largely, I find in my own life and in clients' lives that this doesn't actually hold true when it really ends up circling back again. That the jeans we wore before either don't fit us anymore, or they've worn out, or they're just not quite as on trend as we thought they would be when that trend circles back again. So pay attention to why you're really holding on to it. You think you're going to wear it again, but when? And really look at, is it worth the space, mental and physical, that is taking up while I'm waiting to be ready to wear it again? Or should I just get rid of it? Would I be better off just letting it go? And the next one is big, and that is you might not want to let something go because you spent a lot of money on it. And I hear this often. I have had this situation in my own life when we've invested money in pieces and we're not wearing them. Maybe we've never worn them and the tags have been on them and we haven't decided to sell them and we are no longer able to return them. There is this immense guilt and kind of ick that comes up when we think about, oh my gosh, I spent so much money on that. And when I work in clients' closets and we edit out a lot because a lot was purchased that does not serve them at the time, when I'm working with them, and we remove those pieces, many of them often still have tags on them. There is nothing wrong with that. There is no shame. We are changing behaviors here. So just because you behaved one way and now you have a whole pile of clothing you're not wearing to show for it, does not mean that you should beat yourself up about that. That is something that through the work that I do or that you're doing by watching these videos, you are learning a new way. And so to keep something just because you spent money on it is not serving anyone. It's a sunk cost. The money has already been spent. So either donate those pieces, sell those pieces, return them if you can, alter them if that would work, whatever feels like it's going to satisfy you the most with regards to this, but I wouldn't spend a lot of time and energy on it because what sometimes happens is you are adding to the sunk cost by you've already purchased this expensive piece that you're not wearing. Now you decide you want to have it altered, so you spend the money to have it altered. I've seen this countless times with clients. Now it's altered and you still don't wear it. You still don't like it enough that you're going to wear it. So there's no reason investing more money in it or investing more time, which could translate into money, like by taking it to the consignment shop and seeing if they can sell it. Really decide how much it's worth to you to sink more cost, more time and energy and money into making it either a great garment for you or passing it on to someone else. Sometimes it is just better to kind of cut your losses literally and drive the things to, the donation center and drop them off and go with the energetic karma that creates and understand that the money has already been spent. You are not recouping that money likely, even if you try to sell it online. And at what point is it better for your mental health to just get it out of your closet? And the next thing that might be preventing you from letting go of pieces that you're not wearing is that you feel like you don't have the time and the energy to actually do the decluttering. And this comes up a lot with clients too, which I guess isn't surprising because they come to me when they are pretty fed up and ready to make a change and they haven't been able to make that change on their own. And so when I come in, they have known for a while that they want to declutter and they're ready to edit some things out, but they just haven't actually found the time and the energy to actually do the work. And so if you're feeling overwhelmed and like, I know that I want to get rid of some of these things, but there's just no way, I don't have the time and the energy, I would urge you, if you're not going to work with someone like me, certainly hiring a professional is going to be the fastest, ultimately most affordable way to handle it because we come in with the tools ready to help you get the job done and you're not left to your own devices. But if you are going to do it more of a DIY fashion, I would start small. I would set a 15-minute timer and I would get done what you can get done with the amount of energy that you have to expend in that 15 minutes and just allow those little baby steps to add up and ultimately you will have cleared out the things that don't light you up. So don't let the idea that you don't have the time and energy to actually do the work prevent you from getting rid of the stuff that you know you're never going to wear again. And the next one, this one comes up often, really often, and that is you don't know where to donate the clothes, that you really want to donate the things that you're going to get rid of and you don't know where, you don't know how to do it. And I want to mention that when our brains say they don't know, oftentimes it's just a protection mechanism. It's our brain just trying to keep us safe. Like it seems like it's way more trouble to try to figure out the answer. So we're just going to say we don't know. And then we're just going to keep living with this closet full of stuff that we're not wearing and complaining about it and feeling frustrated by it. But we're not actually going to do the work. It seems a little too taxing to Google where could I actually donate this. And so part of it is just where in my town can I donate it? Part of it is also where can I donate it sustainably? And I have heard this from many clients, more than I actually would have anticipated, even recently. For instance, I have one client whose husband is a human rights attorney, and so she has a really hard time getting rid of things, not knowing how they're going to serve society and where they're going to end up and what's going to happen to the pieces globally, which I fully understand and appreciate. And yet you are not doing anyone any good with the pieces hanging in your wardrobe. Nobody is utilizing them hanging in your wardrobe. So even if half of the pieces you donated ended up in a pile somewhere, really not serving the planet, and half of them ended up in someone's wardrobe, actually making their life better because they can wear them and utilize them and they're enjoying them, I think that's a win. And that's my personal preference. Obviously, everybody comes at this from a different space. I just don't believe that having the things hanging in your wardrobe because you don't know what to do with them, you're not sure where to donate them, and you don't know how to do that ethically and sustainably isn't necessarily better for the planet. You've already purchased the pieces. They're already hanging in your wardrobe. If you can find someone who would benefit from them with a quick Google search, I would suggest you do that so that you're moving them out physically and energetically from your space. Because someone somewhere, even if you just polled your friends, do you know any people who could actually, any women who could use some great suits from work? I'm not wearing these anymore. Do you know any women who could use some warm sweaters that I've outgrown? Do you know whatever the thing is hanging in your closet that's not getting anywhere, there is someone who can use it. Even if the fabric just got donated to an animal shelter so that it was being utilized, for animals that were coming in and needing, shelter and attention. I would urge you to not get too stuck there. I was surprised to learn how many women get stuck in the, well, I don't know what to do with the clothing, so I'm just going to let it keep cluttering up my closet. That's not any way to build a wardrobe that lights you up. And I just want to mention that, like I said at the beginning, I'm giving you a permission slip. I'm giving you permission to let go of the pieces that do not light you up, because one of the fastest ways to get to a wardrobe that lights you up is to get rid of the stuff that doesn't. And whatever the drama is and whatever the friction is that is being created every time you open your closet and you see that stuff that you're not wearing and all the thoughts and beliefs come swirling in, it doesn't make it fun to get dressed. And so it's just a matter of making some decisions. If there are pieces that can be altered, they need to be altered. If there are pieces that you could sell, they need to be sold. If there are pieces that just need to be donated or given to your sister or whatever the case is, that just needs to happen in order to free up the space, both mental and physical and energetic, all three, in order to free up the space so that you can create that wardrobe that you absolutely love wearing. Because the clothing that you have hanging in your wardrobe that you really should be letting go of, that you're hanging on to it for the reasons that I mentioned, but you're not ever planning to actually wear it, that's never going to make a better wardrobe. Those pieces are never going to become likely. I mean, okay, out of 80%, maybe 5% of them could become pieces that actually light you up, that you could move into the category of, I wear these pieces all the time and I love them. Likely, if that 80% has been hanging there for a bit, it is not something that's going to those are not pieces that are going to end up lighting you up in your main wardrobe. So the faster you can get rid of them and learn that lesson and move forward in a new way, the better off you're going to be, the better you're going to look and feel when you get dressed. So I give you permission to let go of the pieces. For whatever the reason is that you have them, it is safe to let them go. Give yourself permission to let them go. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean you're a failure. It doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. It doesn't matter how many pieces of clothing. I have seen it all. It doesn't matter how much needs to be donated or sold or given away. It doesn't matter how much the dollar amount is that you've spent on that you haven't ever worn or don't wear often or never wearing again. You will be closer to building a wardrobe you actually love and feel better overall once those pieces are out of your closet and are serving someone else in some other way. And that doesn't mean I'm giving you permission to get rid of those pieces and just go shop, and refill your closet with 80% more stuff that you're not wearing. That isn't the idea at all. The idea is to have a clean slate. The idea is to get rid of the pieces that you're not ever going to wear again, to let go and release the pieces that are not serving you, and then change the habits, then build the style self-trust, then shift the way you think and feel about your wardrobe so that you can begin to create and curate this collection of pieces that truly serve you, that are fabulous and functional, that fit your today body, that make you really look and feel amazing, and that light you up. As I say here all the time, I know what it looks like when a client tries on something that lights her up. And I absolutely do not believe that you cannot have a closet full of pieces that do that. I believe that's the goal. And I don't believe that that is just a distant, far off, oh, wouldn't that be nice? It is available at every price point, every body type, every age, every color palette. There is a way to create a wardrobe that lights you up, and it doesn't include hanging on to all the stuff that you've been hanging on to in hopes that somehow it was going to start to light you up and get moved into that 10 to 20% category of stuff you're wearing. It's better to let go of it. On the other side of letting go of all of this clothing that is just cluttering up your life, it is taking up physical space. It's taking up mental space. It's taking up energetic space. And by that, I mean, they say that the universe abhors a vacuum. So when we take something out, the universe doesn't like that space, so something else rushes in. And that does not mean some other clothing piece rushes in, although that might be the case. If you get rid of the black shoes that you've hated forever, but you just didn't ever find a different pair, once you get rid of those shoes, you will find the next pair. I know this from personal experience and from watching it happen to my clients regularly. They get rid of the jeans that actually are done past their prime. They need to go, but they really just want another pair of those same jeans. And as soon as they get rid of those jeans, all of a sudden there is an opportunity to either replace the exact same pair that didn't even seem possible prior, or there is a different pair of jeans that comes in that they love just as much, that is the newer, better version. When we let go of the things that are not serving us, that space that we create allows ideas and opportunities and possibilities to enter. And again, that doesn't mean we're going to fill that physical space back up with clothing. It means that we're creating an energetic situation where new things and new possibilities can arise. And that just feels really good. It feels way better than opening up your closet and seeing this collection of stuff where you wear and like this small percentage, and the rest of it, you just have this guilt, well, I can't get rid of it because, all of the reasons. By shifting to a space where you give yourself permission to get rid of those pieces you're not wearing, you are on your way to creating a wardrobe that absolutely lights you up, that supports the life that you live, that you look and feel amazing in, that's easy to care for. It's easy to pack when you want to go on a trip. It's easy to know what to purchase. It's easy to know when it's time to edit something out because you have cleaned up kind of the mess that is that stuff that you're not wearing. This is a big one. All of these topics, as much as they're not important, because let's be serious, it's just clothing. We're not saving lives with this, and it really is just clothing. As much as that is true, it is also true that these topics are important, because if you're someone who spends a large portion of your time beating yourself up about some aspect of your style and your appearance, it is fixable, and it is easier than you think once you start to take some action. And so today I would challenge you to just kind of poke around in your closet and look at how much of what's in there really you're hanging on to for some of the reasons I mentioned, and what would feel different if you could let it go. What would be the worst thing that could happen if you let it go? And how could your life possibly improve exponentially by getting rid of those pieces? I'd love to hear how this sounds to you, and kind of what's happening in your own closet, and how you reconcile hanging on to pieces that aren't serving you, and the guilt that comes up when you think about getting rid of things, and all of that. Let me know. I would love to hear down in the comments. If you're not already following me on Instagram, please come check me out over there at Kristen Cain Style. And if you're ready to work one-on-one with me, I would love that. Style therapy is my signature program, and it works. My clients get results. They create wardrobes they love wearing. This is not about teaching you how to buy all the things or how to create these fancy, intricate outfits. This is about helping you get the style results you want. And if right this minute you think, well, Kristen, I don't even know how I could work with you because I don't even know what style results I want. I don't even know what I would want in my style as my ultimate result. I help you figure that out too. There is a whole process I take you through where you learn that. You figure out what is your end game, what are your style goals, and then I help you get there. So if you'd like to find out more, there's a link down below, and we can hop on a consult call if you would like, and chat about all things style therapy. I would love it. I hope that you have a really great week. I will be back next Friday. Thanks so much for being here. Bye-bye.